the No Fate channel, checking in with a brand new series where I interview people from all over the world, from all different walks of life, and I ask them 5 questions. And exactly 5 questions. I keep the interviews short, quick, and interesting. And today, for the first ever inaugural 5 questions with, we've got Jake. He is the owner, operator, and chief cook and bottle washer of Garage Gym Experiment, started way back in 2017. He also has the Knurled mailing list. He's got the website. He's got blogs. He's got articles. And he has the podcast. And now he has dove headfirst into the shallow end of starting his very first own conference, Home Gym Con, the first conference ever to take on the home gym community. And I am super excited to have him on here. We've got 5 questions. He has not seen any of these questions. They are not all Home Gym Con related. And before anyone asks for a coupon code or an affiliate link, I don't have any of it. I got no affiliation with Home Gym Con or Garage Gym Experiment, nothing, gots. So when you started your home gym affinity, obviously Garage Gym Experiment started in 2017. You were probably well into the home gym community before then. Did you feel like you were all alone in a desert? Clearly in 2020, when COVID hit, everyone jumped on that home gym bandwagon, and it's now taken off to new heights, which is great. But oftentimes when you start something that people aren't aware of or knew of, you get those eye rolls. Like when you told your friends and family and coworkers, like, "Hey, I'm really in love with the home gym lifestyle." Did you have to really like sell them on it? Because as an example, like Twitch streamers. Imagine when Twitch first started, and kids were telling their parents, "I'm going to play video games for a living." And then when it first started, the parents were probably like really had some sleepless nights. Now people do it, no big deal. So it's easier to see. When you were one of the first go-getters, was that really a hard pill to swallow?
First of all, I started Garage Gym Experiment, and I don't think I told anybody I knew for months. Even my really good friends, I probably didn't tell them until I probably had 1,000 followers. It's just something that I was building in the background. And then, I think nobody was like, "That's stupid, you're wasting your time." But there's no doubt that people were kind of like, "That's kind of strange. Not really sure what you're trying to get out of it." But so yeah, I mean, it took many years for it to make sense to even like really close family. In terms of like building out an actual home gym unrelated to like, starting a business around it. I think I had a kid a little bit earlier than most of my friends, and a lot of people don't really realize the value of a home gym until maybe you become a parent, or you just don't have time to go to the gym. I kind of discovered, like you mentioned, on a desert island, I kind of discovered the perks of having a home gym before most people that I knew.
It is April 14th through the 16th. It is in French Lick, Indiana, home of Larry Bird. It is God's country. They've got golf courses, they have casinos if you like to gamble, and they've got Home Gym Con. And one of the reasons I'm really excited about Home Gym Con, even though I'm not making any money off these affiliate links, the reality is when you think of conferences, we think of VidCon. When it started off year 1, it was nothing, and now it is the mecca for YouTube creators. We think of the Arnold Classic, which was a few weeks ago. It started off as a bodybuilding show, and now it's got like 80,000, 100,000 people coming there every year religiously. We think of other things. South by Southwest is the same thing. We think of a lot of these other Comic-Cons, as you can imagine. Again, when it first started out, it was probably just like a few geeks in a room, like, "Hey, let's just bring ourselves together." And now it is like the place where people go to unleash new stuff. And I think, like in my opinion, I think Home Gym Con has that potential already. If you look at the schedule, you've got more equipment than that was at the Arnold Classic. Do you feel that the Home Gym Con has the potential to explode in popularity, very similar to a lot of the other big conferences that are now just so massive annually, but had smaller roots?
So yeah, I think there's a ton of potential. I think with this first year, I'm really, really pleased with how many vendors decided to say yes and also like get, like you mentioned, like decide to release products, get really involved, promote it heavily. So that has been huge. And like just seeing the vendors' excitement around something like this, it has been really cool to see. And I can definitely see it being something that they gear up for every year, and the community rallies around that excitement from the companies creating these new products. Yeah, and and like there's no doubt that this is just phase one of the hopefully some sort of really cool annual experience for the community. So yeah, I definitely think this is just the beginning.
We live in a social media world where it seems like people have smaller attention spans and there's just so much content out there. As a YouTuber, as a podcaster, as you know, the owner operator of Home Gym Con, do you feel like a really hard push to do flashy stuff, like whether it's like, you know, big massive lifts for PRs or shirtless videos or just crazy stuff, like crazy antics that we've all seen on Instagram and YouTube, to bring people in, and or even have like a crazy guest on your podcast in order to kind of drive that audience retention and get a bigger following?
Yeah, no doubt. And I think there's always going to be a place for that. I think my strategy is really to hone in on, I really try and think about like the way I try and create content is for the thousand most passionate home gym owners. So that's kind of how I do it. Like I really think about it as more of a niche page. And but every once in a while, it's tough to play the algorithm game, so you have to throw in something that you know the internet's going to like, which I'd hate doing. There's no sort of like monetization without like that sort of stuff, and then also asking for people to like go through your links, do this, do that. So I think that's the like icky part of this job that I think nobody likes to do, but you have to do it if you want to survive.
We are going to turn our hats around like over the top Stallone style. Let's switch gears, talk about owning a business. Okay. Obviously most people, they work for a company, they get a paycheck, they get insurance, they know how much their paycheck is going to be. How much stress is there as a gym owner, content creator for the home gym world, to bring in money, to have more consistent revenue, and to just put food on the table?
Running your own business definitely has its own pros and cons. So I would say like it's definitely stressful. So I'm not necessarily I have a family. There is pressure to make sure I hit a certain amount of numbers each month. But in general, I just try and basically live as frugally as possible when it comes to the business, and just think long term, as far as like trying to save up as much as possible, give yourself some sort of cushion, and be safe for the most part, and then pounce when the opportunity feels right. I think that's kind of a good way to feel it. That I mean, Home Gym Con felt like a good time to like go all in. I will say there's a lot of stress because if Home Gym Con fails terribly, I'm definitely going back to the corporate world. So yeah, there's tons of pressure for that. Um, but I mean, I also just want to emphasize that it's worth it for me. It is, you make your own schedule. You don't have, you do what you work as hard as you want. I would say it's worth it just because you're building something for yourself.
So let's go into the fifth and final question. And this is one that I am selfishly asking. You, just a few weeks ago, were at the Arnold Classic, not just as a guest, but as you had a place, a business to kind of put out your wares, to bring in business, to meet and greet people. As a business owner, and as someone who paid all the expenses, you know, gas, hotels, set up, clean up, all the other stuff to have a table at the Arnold, how do you gauge return on investment?
I really try and think about a lot of things in terms of thinking long term. So like I do think, while I don't think like it was necessarily a one-to-one pay revenue to cost came out on top this time. I don't think that happened, but I definitely learned a lot. I know how I would do it again. I learned for myself to do it helped me with planning for the convention I'm putting on because I hadn't been a vendor. But yeah, I think there's some things that you just kind of have to take a chance on. And while it was quite a bit of money at the time, when you think about it long term, and you kind of portion it out with other marketing spend, and ration it out, it's not the end of the world, even if you lost everything. So I think if you think about it like that, and also just try and learn from everything you do, then it can be a win. But if, I mean, you can also learn that it wasn't worth it, so you don't have to do it again. So yeah, I think as long as you're learning, it's helpful.
Home Gym Con, April 14th through the 16th. What should they know besides the casino, besides the golf course, besides the fact that they can get onto the convention floor and work out before the convention even opens, which I think is going to be just awesome. What should they know? And obviously the tickets they know they can get in the description. I'm going to put it on the screen, the whole 9 yards. But what should they know that goes beyond the website and the schedule?
First of all, you get to get your hands on literally 1,000 different pieces of equipment if you want to. So you can really figure out like what works for you, what you like, what you dislike. And that can really help as you build out your gym going forward. Discounts that you can purchase so you can save money there. We'll have tons of giveaways. There'll be quite a bit of activities. So we'll have a deadlift party. We're having a log lift off. There's going to be seminars from people like Will Fleming, Chad Wesley Smith, Matt Winning's doing hopping on a podcast, a live podcast. Matt Vincent's doing a podcast. And then I think just like the ability to meet like-minded folks, and also meet the vendors. If you like a specific company, you most likely are going to be able to get to the chance to meet with the owner, or just like get to know the owner, form a relationship with them. There's a casino, there's dinners, there's pools for kids, like there's quite a bit to do. So it's definitely a good weekend to test out gym equipment, meet good people, and like just visit a cool place.
Trust me, if you don't show up, you're going to be one of those sad sacks like me that was like, I wish I was there on the first year. Think about the CrossFit Games first year back at the ranch. If you were there, you were like a legend. Don't miss out. Now, if you made it this far in the video, guess what? You and I are like Jake and myself. We are like backwards baseball caps and over the top. We are best friends. Thanks for watching. Check out all the links in the description. Check out Home Gym Con, Garage Gym Experiment, and like all the other crazy stuff this dude does in a 24-hour day. I don't know how he gets it done, but thank you for staying tuned. And of course, hit the subscribe button. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.